Hello everyone, welcome to Topper IAS. As part of our daily series, today also we will continue with our discussion of daily current affairs which have been sourced from the newspaper Hindu. Okay, so let's get started. So the first one is with respect to climate action and finance mobilization dialogue. See, this dialogue has been launched by India and United States of America. Basically, India and US has climate and clean energy agenda 2030. So they are partnering together to achieve certain climate mitigation targets and also have the economy transition towards clean energy, that is renewable sources of energy. So they have come together in the name of India US Climate and Clean Energy Agenda 2030, and towards that goal they have launched a dialogue. So this dialogue will serve as a avenue, a platform for US and India to collaborate. Okay, and in that direction United States will be collaborating with India to work towards installing 450 gigawatts of renewable energy by 2030. Okay, then next news is with respect to tigers in Odisha change their stripes. See, you might have seen tigers, even if you have not seen live, you might have seen in movies, right? They have lines, we call it as stripes. So basically, orange color. What has happened is you are going to see a black tigers where in Simlipal Tiger Reserve of Odisha. So these strips are almost fused together, and they are almost removing out the burnished orange coats. So basically you can see this figure, right? See here, black strips, almost the orange color lining is being removed away. So this is what the question comes, why this kind of black strips, black color on the body of tigers. So there was a research conducted with the title, what is the genetic basis of pseudomelanism. See, basically pseudomelanism is a case, a condition where there is black pigmentation on the body, black coloring, black spots on the body. So why that happens? Because of genetic mutation and all. So this study was conducted, what is the genetic basis of pseudomelanism, and this has given insight to the researchers about the evolutionary trajectory of small and isolated population of an endangered species, and solved a long standing mystery of why these tigers look the way they do. So they have studied this. So simplified tiger reserve, what is the thing is, these tigers are basically isolated from other tigers. So this is the, they have studied this, why this. So we'll see reason. So National Center for Biological Science, these people conduct, scientists from these have conducted the survey and studied that it is a basically reason is because of uh, mutation in one gene. Okay, so I already told you the title of the report was melanism, pseudomelanism. See what the report said, that almost 37% of Panthera tigris in Simlipal Tiger Reserve are pseudomelanistic. Basically, meaning of this is wide merged stripes. Okay, so black stripes you are going to see. And why this kind of stripes on their body? This is result of a rare mutation in one gene. So the name of the gene is transmembrane aminopeptidase Q or TACPEP, are recessively inherited variants of which are responsible for marks in domestic cats and king cheetahs. So basically you see this kind of gene and their mutation occurring on the bodies of domestic cats and king cheetahs, but now what has happened, you are seeing these kind of stripes even on tigers also. So reason is because of rare mutation in one gene. And why this has specifically occurred in the tigers of Simlipal Tiger Reserve? Because the population at Simlipal Tiger Reserve is very small and potentially disconnected from other populations. So other population of tigers are unable to reach this area, nor these tigers from the Simlipal are able to have a contact with other tigers. So this has resulted that the related individuals are mating with each other. So because of this, you are going to see the evolutionary changes. See, you might have come across that the marriages within the relatives is not a good sign, right? So you might have come across within humans also. Why? Because a certain biologically impotential offsprings you are going to give birth to. So that is what it is said. So same thing is happening with respect to tigers in Simplifal Tiger Reserve. So very few population. So all these tigers, what they are mating with each other within a relative's ancestry. So because of this condition we call it inbreeding. So inbreeding, breeding takes place within the members of the same ancestry and all. And because of this you see pseudomelanistic tendencies. And apart from that, they also suggested one thing that can be done is you can migrate one tiger to this area. So once you send a tiger to this Simplified Tiger Reserve, then what happens is crossbreeding will happen instead of inbreeding. Crossbreeding, not breeding, mating between organisms which are not related. Okay, so crossbreeding will happen. So moment that happens, the it will be likely to result in the loss of melanistic mutation from the Simplified Tiger Reserves. So crossbreeding will overcome the situation of melanistic mutation. Okay, and why? Because heterozygosity, not homozygosity. Homozygosity between same similar organisms ancestors. Now mixing of organisms and mating, and this will decrease the probability of inbreeding depression. See, inbreeding depression are basically term conveying that the offspring is biologically not potential to survive the environmental conditions. So biologically impotential. Why this happens? Because of inbreeding between the organisms. Okay, so this kind of situation can be avoided if you migrate, if you translocate a tiger into this Simplified Tiger Reserve. But they also caution that what kind of animal you are going to transfer should be taken very cautious decision. Then next one is with respect to NGOs. Government curbs funding for 10 climate change and child labor related NGOs, non-governmental organization. See, almost 10 NGOs belonging to America, Australia or European Union. So those NGOs which are particularly dealing with environmental issues, climate change and child labor issues. So government has curbed the funding, the restricted the way the funding to these NGOs. How this we got to know? RBI has noted that these foreign entities will be placed on prior reference category (PRC) list using stringent Foreign Contribution Regulation Act in 2010. See, actually, Forest Contribution Regulation Act, at the name itself says, regulates the foreign funding to the NGOs, and under this, it is made that banks and chartered accountants will be held accountable for any unauthorized funds that come through. So they have to be very vigilant. So because of that, the RBI has noted that the entities will be placed on prior reference category, and if at all any fund has to go to these NGOs, the prior approval of home ministry is necessary. So what are all the NGOs? See, there are a number of NGOs. You don't have to remember the names for the exams, but these are around 10. Okay, US based Omidyar Network, Humanity United and Stardust Foundation, Australia based Walk Free Foundation, Mindiro Foundation. So you can just go through it. And after this, what has happened is now almost 80 international NGOs are on the PRC list of the government. Okay, so remember, with respect to NGOs, you should know like uh, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act of 2010, and you should know what are NGOs. See, basically, before we get, why did the government as of now impose restriction on the funding of these NGOs? See, what the reason was said that, see, climate change is there, and as part of Paris Agreement, India has committed nationally determined contributions. But the various reports suggesting that the announced nationally determined contributions of the countries is not enough. So there is increasing pressure on India also to enhance its nationally determined contributions. So what is a report says that the NGOs can advocate for non-usage of coal in India, so they can propagate in media. So because of that, the curbing has been made to these NGOs. See why? Because see, energy requirement is there, so coal still remains as an important source of energy for India. India all of a sudden cannot do away with coal. So if you start promulgating that coal should not be used, that is not a good thing for India. So keeping that aspects, this curbing has been done. Basically NGOs, non-governmental organization. So there is no universally agreed definition for NGOs. Okay, so it is a voluntary group or institution with a social mission which operates independent of the government. So non-governmental organization, meaning it is also called with a number of names like non-profit organization, civil society organization, citizen sector organization, grassroots support organization, and others. So a number of ways of calling NGOs. And next one is with respect to divorce. Supreme Court calls for reforms in the grounds for divorce. So divorce happen. What Supreme Court has said that lawmakers should accept irretrievable breakdown as reason for divorce also. But it is not provided. Why? Because see, marriage as a institution, social institution, is highly regarded in India and highly provided importance. See, the once you're born, what is the condition is that you have to get married. So this is very regarded as a very important social institution. And not only that, apart from that, it is also difficult for women to retain their social acceptance after divorce. So this is also one more issue. And another thing is failure for women to secure financial support also after divorce. So these all things complicate the issue. That is why legislatures are unable to bring in uh, basis like irretrievable breakdown as a reason for divorce, keeping in all these aspects: institution of marriage, importance of marriage, social acceptance of women after divorce, and financial security, all this stuff. And it also said that apart from this, repeated allegations and litigation against a spouse amounts to cruelty, which can also be a ground for divorce. So remember this. What it becomes important is, remember institution of marriage, a social institution. What is the significance of this institution, and what are also good things, a negative way of analysis, and all those stuff. So that's it for today. You can also download the PDF of this document in the link that is shared below, and do download Topper Eyes Institute app so that you get access to a number of videos which will be helpful in your daily preparation. Thank you.